Everybody, Justin here from the Breadbox Commodore Computer Museum. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a prediction of what the next Retrogames Limited machine will be for 2023, and I'll show you why I believe it's this as well. Up to this point, our friends at Retrogames Limited have produced some pretty amazing little machines, haven't they? My favourite? The C64, only because I'm a huge Commodore 64 fan. And that's quite an important point when we look at what the next machine will be that Retrogames Limited most likely will be releasing in 2023. Up to this point, the machines that have been released by Retrogames Limited have been all Commodore reimagined machines. But what if the biggest schoolyard rivalry, the machine that was the biggest rival to the Commodore 64 in those schoolyard battles, debates and fights back in the 1980s, admit it, you were part of those as well. I think we all were. As you know, I'm a huge Commodore 64 fan, and I just love Commodore computers, hence why I'm building a Commodore Computer Museum. I also have a deep respect for retro computing as a whole, because in the 1980s, computers had soul, didn't they? Something that's truly lacking from today's computer industry. Back in the 1980s, they all had something to offer, something unique about them, whether it be an Oric, Atari 400XL, 800XL, a Jaguar MSX, a ZX Spectrum. Now what ignited my curiosity and also this whole video was a post that Retrogames Limited did on their Facebook page back on November the 8th, 2022. It was pointing to a TV program on Channel 4 in the UK, made in the 80s, the decade that shaped our world, and this episode was called Silicon Britannia. What it made even more interesting was the post that the Retrogames Limited chums made was this point here. They said, if you look closely, you might also have hashtag spoilers from the past of what might, in brackets or might not, be coming from us in the near future. Very cryptic indeed, and that of course stirred my curiosity. The episode in question is only available for UK viewers, so I started up my Surfshark app on my computer and I changed my location from New Zealand to UK, and then I watched that episode. If you love 1980s retro computing, you need to watch this episode because it was very informative and also had some pretty amazing interviews with iconic people from the retro computing community back in the 1980s, like Clive Sinclair and Alan Sugar, just from the top of my head. There's others as well. So if you want to watch that episode of Made in the 80s, you can subscribe to Surfshark right now. There's a link in the description below. If you sign up with that link, you'll get 84% off and also 2 months free as well. We love using Surfshark here at home because it unlocks so much more content from Netflix and Disney Plus, so definitely worthwhile subscribing, and in particular to watch this episode of Made in the 80s. So I watched this episode that Retrogames Limited was pointing us to. I was trying to work out from the different 1980s machines that were shown which will be the next or the upcoming Retrogames Limited release for 2023. So there was different iconic machines shown. There was the BBCs, there was Acorns, there was the ZX Spectrum, or as I like to call it, the Spectrum. And yes, that's right. That's my prediction for 2023. I believe that Retrogames Limited will be releasing not a Commodore inspired machine, but the biggest rival to the Commodore 64 is ZX Spectrum in a reimagined form, the Spectrum. Now this makes sense because, well, obviously we've already got the C64. What about that schoolyard rivalry? Do we want to reignite that? Well, of course we do. So having the Spectrum makes a logical sense. The great thing about the ZX Spectrum, it's already in mini form. Think about this. When we got the A500 Mini, it was shrunk down to this. So the ZX Spectrum came out at 23 centimeters by 14 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Just to give you an idea of the size of the ZX Spectrum, here's our A500 Mini, and that is about 21 centimeters. The ZX Spectrum was 23 centimeters, so it's only slightly bigger. Depth-wise, it's the same size. And thickness, I'm probably not using the right terminology here, but it's pretty much the same as well. So Retrogames Limited would not have to shrink the Spectrum down very much if they have to do that at all. And hopefully it comes out with a working keyboard, but if not, it'll still be a great addition to the retro computing community. It's estimated that about 5 million Spectrums were sold worldwide, and out of those different varieties of Spectrums was the ZX Spectrum. So it's a very popular machine back in the day. And of course, still would have a following today. There's a huge library of games available online. I've counted about 1,600 different games that you can download. So 2023, my prediction for the next machine from Retrogames Limited will be the Spectrum. I'd like to actually see an AMIGA 1200 with a working keyboard, but I just don't think that's in the pipeline right now. And if not, this ZX Spectrum would be the next best thing, wouldn't it? What do you think about this prediction? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm dreaming? Let me know in the comments below. And for fellow Commodore computer fans, don't forget that I have the Commodore Computer Club that you can join right now. There's a join button down below, and you get access to ad-free content that's exclusive to the club membership. And currently I think I've got about 84 videos there, and they'll be adding about 20 to 30 videos per month. Hey, thanks for watching. Let's see if I'm right, and we'll see you next time.